Breaking news, Sean Diddy Combs was transferred last night from his jail cell to the hospital for an MRI, and no clear reasons were given for this move. Now, this was done in the middle of the night, in the dark, so that it was inconspicuous to other inmates and prison staff. But again, they didn't want to draw attention to this. Rumors are circulating that the reason for this move could be a variety of reasons. It could be that he got in a fight or an unknown health emergency that has arose.
Oh, we already know, man, they have been leaked Diddy's HIV status. And y'all think Jaguar Wright have been telling these lies for quite some time, but let me explain something to you. See, when you get into that documentary, right? When you get into that documentary and you go back to them Craig Mack days of when he caught HIV and he initially passed from full-blown, isn't that about the same timeline that they were sleeping with all the same dog? You better use your head.
A jail warden just dropped a shocking confirmation. Everything Jaguar Wright's been shouting about Diddy's health might be real. This revelation is finally connecting all the missing pieces. People have whispered for years that something was off, but now it sounded way deeper than anyone imagined. It's no secret that Diddy's health has reportedly been declining since he landed behind bars. At first, everyone thought it was just years of a fast-paced lifestyle catching up to him, or the sudden crash from going from luxury to confinement. But insiders are saying there may be more serious health concerns unfolding behind those prison walls. A warden from the private facility in Fort Dix, where Diddy was recently moved, allegedly shared that there are ongoing medical issues being closely monitored. While details remain unclear, reports suggest his condition may be more complicated than originally believed, leaving many people shocked at how quickly things have escalated. But that's not even the only twist. Word inside suggests tensions have been rising within the facility, adding even more pressure to an already complicated situation. Apparently, anyone who thought things would completely slow down after his incarceration may have underestimated how complex life behind bars can be. The whole situation feels like something straight out of a headline-making scandal. Before his arrest, Diddy was already living that billionaire life. He had the money, the power, and all the right connections. And according to reports, those same three things are still working in his favor even behind bars. In fact, word is that his influence has made him a noticeable figure among inmates, and some claim his larger-than-life persona hasn't faded even in a completely different environment. It's wild to think his empire might still be operating in some form, just with a different setting. But let's rewind for a second. Back when Diddy was sitting high on his throne, moving with the elite, and holding the title of the industry's billionaire music mogul, rumors about personal challenges weren't exactly new. Insiders say some concerns have been circulating for years, long before his current legal situation. Some trace the timeline back to earlier chapters of his career, including past high-profile relationships.
I ask you, when you hear that Cassie was told to hire male escorts to come and what they call freak-offs now, that's something normal that happens in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Freak-offs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody know that. I've been saying it. Yeah.
Things really started unraveling after Cassie filed that lawsuit against him in November 2023. In the weeks that followed, additional individuals shared difficult personal experiences tied to their time around him, describing emotional and professional turmoil. One former associate publicly discussed facing serious personal consequences after being connected to that circle. The situation raised major questions about what may have been happening behind the scenes, long before incarceration ever became part of the story. Then there's Gina too. Her story caught widespread attention. Reports suggest she experienced significant personal fallout after becoming involved in certain high-profile social circles linked to Diddy and his associates. The details remain heavily debated, and the deeper people look, the more complicated the situation appears. When you start linking all of this with other big names in the industry who've been around Diddy, that rabbit hole starts looking endless. Take Usher, for instance. Remember the past legal controversy that made major headlines years ago? That situation alone sparked widespread discussion and speculation across the industry.
Now, when you piece things together, some people began drawing their own conclusions. Usher's been linked to Diddy for years through music, mentorship, and high-profile industry events that were often talked about behind closed doors. The long history between them has definitely fueled online conversations. If even a fraction of these rumors holds weight, it paints a complicated picture, one suggesting that certain industry circles may have been far more complex than they appeared on the surface. And we can't overlook Craig Mack, the bad boy pioneer whose passing deeply impacted fans. Over the years, online discussions have speculated about why he distanced himself from certain parts of the industry later in life, though no official evidence has supported those claims. But was that simply personal choice or something else entirely? Then there's Kim Porter, whose sudden passing left many people with unanswered questions.
I had with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would tell me what to do with Cassie. I had like 15 encounters, and I heard lots of business. Because what they would do is Sean talks a lot on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a slave. Okay, for them that's what I was. That's all. All right.
Official records state that her cause of death was pneumonia, and the medical examiner's 2019 report confirmed the findings with no signs of foul play. Still, as with many high-profile tragedies, public speculation followed. Some questioned whether there was more to the story, while others stood by the official conclusion. Kim's father publicly expressed that he struggled with the explanation at the time, saying he felt something didn't sit right with him emotionally. However, the official case was reviewed and closed based on medical findings. Kim's father spoke out, saying publicly that he struggled to fully accept the pneumonia explanation at the time. He admitted that emotionally it just didn't sit right with him. And as often happens with high-profile cases, once questions start circulating, more people begin re-examining the timeline, even though the official findings remained unchanged. Now, with new developments unfolding, some online commentators believe certain long-standing rumors are resurfacing. There have been claims that individuals who were once closely connected to Diddy later distanced themselves or stepped out of the spotlight. Names like French Montana, Meek Mill, Usher, and Young Miami have occasionally appeared in online discussions, mostly centered around industry relationships and business dynamics. However, much of that remains speculation, with no verified evidence supporting the more extreme claims. As for his current situation, insiders say prison life comes with its own challenges. Adjusting to that environment is never simple, especially for someone who once lived at the top of the entertainment world. Reports suggest he was transferred to another facility, though official reasons for such moves are typically administrative. There are also long-standing public debates surrounding the tragic deaths of Biggie and Tupac, topics that have sparked theories for decades. However, no court has established responsibility linking Diddy to those events. While emotions still run high among fans and observers, those cases remain separate matters with their own histories.
For now, much of what's circulating remains speculation, and until verified information surfaces, it's difficult to separate fact from rumor. And just when it couldn't get any messier, new online discussions began linking his name to broader industry controversies. Some internet speculation has attempted to connect various high-profile networks and past scandals, but so far, no verified evidence has publicly confirmed those claims. Still, the conversations continue to circulate across social media, keeping his name in the headlines. But that's not all. Some commentators claim there were exclusive circles within the industry where power and influence operated behind closed doors. While many of these stories remain unproven, they fueled ongoing debates about how certain elite environments really function. It sounds dramatic, but much of it is still based on rumor rather than confirmed fact. So now people are asking, is his current situation a turning point or simply another chapter in a long, complicated public narrative? No one knows for sure, but the discussion surrounding him hasn't slowed down. As the controversy around his name continues, reports suggest investigators are examining various business dealings and financial structures connected to his empire. Allegations about complex transactions and past agreements have surfaced, though official findings have yet to be fully revealed. The pressure appears to be building, and each new headline adds another layer to the story. People close to the situation say he's facing intense scrutiny, not just from the public, but from legal authorities reviewing past activities. Former associates and industry insiders have reportedly been contacted as part of ongoing inquiries. If additional documents ever become public, they could shed more light on how certain operations were managed behind the scenes. And while Diddy's team is working overtime to manage the situation, public conversation is louder than ever. Everyone's watching to see how the once untouchable mogul responds to the growing scrutiny surrounding his name. At this point, the empire he built on fame and influence appears to be facing one of his biggest challenges yet. Word is the controversy isn't fading anytime soon. Reports suggest additional legal matters may be developing, and several major networks are said to be exploring in-depth documentaries, examining his career, business dealings, and the broader culture of the industry. It feels like the entertainment world is bracing for major revelations, with his name at the center of the discussion.
In the library, where he is making recommendations and handing out different movies and books for his fellow.
Sources claim some longtime associates are distancing themselves, choosing to step back publicly as the spotlight intensifies. Brands and business partners that once aligned with him are reportedly reevaluating their positions. The support system that once seemed solid now appears far less certain. Meanwhile, adjusting to life behind bars reportedly comes with his own pressures. As with many high-profile inmates, there's increased attention surrounding his presence in the facility. Reports suggest he's being closely monitored, which is common in cases involving well-known public figures. The empire that once seemed untouchable is now facing serious turbulence, and everyone is watching to see how this chapter ultimately unfolds.
Now, the latest buzz suggests Diddy's situation could be entering a new phase. Some reports claim authorities may be reviewing previously sealed documents, potentially expanding the scope of ongoing inquiries. While nothing has been officially confirmed, speculation online continues to grow. There are also claims circulating about financial records, travel logs, and past business transactions being examined more closely. However, at this stage, much of that discussion remains unverified. If any formal findings are released, they could significantly reshape the public understanding of the situation. What's drawing even more attention is the idea that certain former business associates may be speaking with investigators. While cooperation in legal matters isn't unusual, it has fueled conversations about how much information could eventually become public. Each new headline seems to add another layer to an already complicated story. Meanwhile, some figures in the industry appear to be distancing themselves publicly, possibly as a precaution while the situation develops. Diddy himself has remained largely silent, which has only intensified online speculation. Whether that silence is strategic or simply procedural is unclear. Now, the broader question being asked is what this all means for his legacy. Reports suggest the investigation, if ongoing, is focused on clarifying past business practices and partnerships. As authorities continue their review, observers are waiting to see what, if anything, will be formally confirmed. Until official statements are made, much of the conversation remains in the realm of speculation. Sources say some former insiders may have provided investigators with personal messages, recordings, and documents that could potentially shift how the case is viewed. While details haven't been officially confirmed, reports suggest certain materials are being reviewed as part of a broader examination of past business activities. If verified, those findings could significantly impact public perception.
Y'all know I've come to terms that I don't know who gave me AIDS or HIV, right? So today, I got a message about an interview that I should watch. And this interview happened to include a celebrity man that I was with for a few years, and I actually had feelings for this person.
Online commentators are already calling this one of the most dramatic celebrity controversies in recent years. The glitz, the power, the luxury. Many are questioning whether there were complexities behind the scenes that weren't visible to the public. Now, people are watching closely to see what information, if any, becomes officially confirmed, because the next development could change the narrative in a major way. Some reports suggest the situation has reached a critical stage, with authorities expanding their review. There are claims that formal legal requests have been issued to various industry figures for documentation or testimony. However, until official statements are released, much of the discussion remains speculative. Meanwhile, individuals who were once dismissive of rumors are now speaking more cautiously about past industry environments. Conversations about private events, travel logs, and exclusive gatherings are being re-examined in hindsight. As more perspectives surface, the broader entertainment world appears to be reflecting on how certain systems operated behind the scenes.
Meanwhile, reports suggest Diddy's team is working intensely behind the scenes as public attention continues to grow. His legal representatives are likely preparing for potential developments, while online conversation shows no signs of slowing down.
If new verified information emerges, it could significantly impact not only his career, but broader industry conversations as well. It feels like we're witnessing a major turning point unfold in real time. Now, word is spreading that the situation has become increasingly complex. Some sources claim additional individuals may be speaking with authorities, people who previously chose not to comment publicly. There are reports that past communications and records are being reviewed, though much of that remains unconfirmed. What started as online speculation is now evolving into a more structured legal process. Sources close to the matter say investigators are carefully reviewing business dealings and professional relationships from previous years.
He's facing another lawsuit from this time 3 people. A man and 2 women, represented by big-time lawyer. Usher himself has not said whether or not he has the virus. How does the story end?
I never heard from him again.
Various transactions, partnerships, and events are reportedly being looked at more closely. At the same time, many of the names circulating in discussions remain active in the industry, continuing their work as usual while the situation develops. Online, reactions are mixed. Some fans are expressing shock, while others are choosing to wait for official updates before forming conclusions. Social media activity suggests that people are paying close attention, anticipating the next confirmed announcement. If further verified findings are released, they could reshape public perception in a significant way. Now, the tension surrounding Diddy's name appears to be at a peak. Some reports suggest federal investigators may be reviewing financial records, examining past transactions and business structures more closely. While official details remain limited, the growing number of headlines has intensified public scrutiny. As more information circulates, observers are closely watching how the situation develops. There are also claims that certain former associates may be cooperating with authorities as part of standard investigative procedures. While that isn't unusual in complex legal matters, it has fueled speculation about what information could eventually become public. Meanwhile, his legal team is likely working through the process as inquiries continue. Online commentators are calling this one of the most significant celebrity controversies in recent memory. From luxury lifestyles to boardroom influence, people are re-examining how power operated at the height of his career. Some are even referring to it as a potential turning point for the industry. But until confirmed developments are announced, much remains uncertain. Now, recent reports suggest that prosecutors could be evaluating whether formal steps are warranted, though no official announcement has been made at this time. As the legal process unfolds, some longtime associates appear to be distancing themselves publicly while awaiting clarity. Whether this marks a permanent shift or simply a turbulent chapter remains to be seen.
Kim Porter dad, he came out and spoke out about that video. How you feel about him coming out?
Well, the way I feel, if I was Kim Porter's father and I seen that, I could only imagine what he may have thought his own daughter went through.
Sources close to the situation say investigators may be reviewing various materials, including communications and financial records, as part of an ongoing process. While no official conclusions have been announced, each new report generates significant online reaction and renewed public interest. Meanwhile, Diddy's decision to remain largely silent has fueled continued speculation. Fans and critics alike are waiting for clearer updates, but so far, confirmed information has been limited. The industry appears to be watching closely, anticipating any formal announcement that could clarify the direction of the situation. If substantial developments are confirmed, it could mark a significant moment in his career. Now, online discussions suggest that authorities may be preparing their next procedural steps, though no official timeline has been officially confirmed. As is common in high-profile legal matters, individuals connected to the case may be seeking legal counsel while waiting for clarity. The atmosphere surrounding the story feels tense, largely because so much remains uncertain. Reports also indicate that investigators are reviewing past timelines, business dealings, and professional interactions to better understand the full context. While some commentators frame it as a major unraveling, official statements have yet to outline definitive conclusions. For now, many observers are simply waiting to see what verified information, if any, will emerge next. And while Diddy remains behind bars, reports suggest he's staying in close contact with his legal team as developments continue. Like anyone facing a high-profile legal situation, he's likely focused on understanding what information may surface next and how the process will unfold. If additional legal steps are announced, this could become one of the most closely watched celebrity cases in recent years. Now, some commentators believe the investigation could expand to examine broader industry connections, though no official confirmation has named additional individuals. If the next phase brings new verified findings, it may prompt wider conversations about how influence operates behind the scenes in entertainment. Sources also suggest that certain sealed documents may eventually become public as part of standard legal procedures. However, until any materials are formally released, much of what's circulating remains speculation. As a result, some public figures are choosing to stay quiet while awaiting confirmed updates. Meanwhile, like many high-profile inmates, Diddy is reportedly under heightened supervision, a common precaution in facilities housing well-known individuals. The situation continues to evolve, with new headlines appearing regularly. Fans, journalists, and industry observers are all watching closely, waiting to see what official developments, if any, emerge next. Now, things appear to be escalating. Some reports suggest federal investigators may be conducting interviews with individuals connected to Diddy's professional circle as part of a broader review. While details about those conversations haven't been publicly confirmed, the development has fueled renewed attention around the case. Sources say investigators are examining financial records, business dealings, and past professional interactions to better understand the full context. However, until official findings are released, much of what's circulating online remains speculative rather than confirmed fact. Meanwhile, Diddy's legal team is reportedly preparing for potential next steps as media coverage intensifies. As often happens in high-profile situations, other public figures are choosing to be cautious about public statements while awaiting clarity. The broader entertainment industry appears to be watching closely to see what formal updates, if any, will follow. Some commentators believe the investigation could be approaching a significant phase, though authorities have not publicly outlined a final timeline. If official actions are announced, they could represent an important moment in the case. For now, the situation remains fluid, with observers waiting for verified information before drawing conclusions. Sources close to the case say there may be an upcoming public update, and if that happens, it could clarify many of the questions that have been circulating for months. Industry observers are paying close attention, waiting to see whether any official announcements will address the ongoing speculation. Meanwhile, Diddy has remained largely silent while the legal process unfolds. With no detailed public statements recently, many are left wondering what the next confirmed development will be. The industry appears to be watching closely, anticipating whether this situation marks a temporary setback or a major turning point in his career. Online reactions continue to pour in. Some critics believe he should be held accountable if any confirmed wrongdoing is established through proper legal channels. Others argue that it's important to wait for verified facts before drawing conclusions. The public conversation remains divided, with strong opinions on both sides. There has also been discussion about his reported health concerns and the challenges of adjusting to incarceration, though few concrete details have been officially released. As with many high-profile cases, rumors can spread quickly, making it difficult to separate fact from speculation. So what do you think? Is this simply another chapter in a long and complicated public story, or are we about to see a defining moment unfold? Until formal updates are released, much remains uncertain. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for future updates as more verified information becomes available.